got. You wanted a reaction. It just wasn't the reaction that you thought it was going to be. So you can't be mad at the reaction that you get when you wanted a reaction. You can't make people have the reaction that you want them to have. They're going to have a reaction the way they want to have it. So I just think that it's two sides to it. You can be a good promoter, but you don't have to press the envelope that far. So I don't get mad at people that don't like Bill Haney. I don't get mad at people that like Bill Haney. I'm in the middle. I don't. I mean, it doesn't bother me one way or another because he ain't doing anything to anybody that I like, so I don't care.
I mean, I think with Bill, um, I just think with Bill, man, it's one of those things where it's okay when other promoters do it, but because of Bill's skin, he got to be cautious, or he should be more tame, or he shouldn't say this, or he shouldn't say that. No one told Bob Arum to say anything. Bob Arum says everything he wants to say, does whatever he wants with impunity. I don't hear anybody saying nothing about it. Um, it's just, I don't know, but I think what Bill is doing is something that Don King did. He's bringing excitement that probably wouldn't be there. What would you guys say? What say you guys?
I don't know. I mean, I was excited for boxing. Period.
No,
I
I'm talking
mean,
about for I'm talking about for Devin.
I like Devin regardless. I mean, I'm looking at the skills. I don't care what his father say. If you a good fighter, you're a good fighter. His father could say whatever you want. If Devin was a horrible fighter, he's going to get treated as a horrible fighter. And so it doesn't matter what his father say. His talent is what shines through. So you can see that Devin Haney is a good fighter, regardless of what his father say. Like I said, his father could have been a mute. If Devin was a good fighter, we're going to see that he's a good fighter. It don't matter what his father say. But I mean, I understand other people need that person to speak out for them. I'm not that one. I'm not that person. Action speaks louder than words. You can say whatever you want, but if I don't see the action from it, what are you saying? You saying Devin could do this, Devin could do that. Well, if Devin is losing all his big fights, I don't care what you say Devin could do. I don't believe you.
Yeah, I just think
100%. I'm in full agreement, and I feel like the fact that Devin is winning all his big fights, he been kicking ass for a lot of years. Excuse my language. Um, is that attests to or lends to people's hate for Bill and Devin, because one thing it is people always want you to be humble. That's a
no, they want
fact.
blacks to be humble.
Most people, they don't want you to ahead of the pack. They want you to have, a little bruise on you here and there. So the fact that Bill and Devin was kind of cruising and dominating the sport of boxing to a certain degree, that that lended to people's hate and people's disdain, as well as them being brash. But as y'all know, the sport of boxing, you got to talk to sell. I mean, if don't nobody know who you are, you can't get no. You're not gonna get any interest. You're not gonna make no money. So they Bill acts as promoter, manager, trainer. So he wears a lot of hats. So you're gonna see him all the time. That's just what it is.
What you say, Mark?
To what exactly? My bad.
Reason I say that is because we've seen this with so many great fighters. I just think I think it's. Do you think it's a racial thing with Bill? Because I feel like a lot of blacks hate Bill. That's kind of
Um,
how I feel.
I mean, I think it's more of a tank thing. I do think it is a bit of a
You talking
racial
about
thing,
Abdul
especially on
Wahid?
the Mexican
Can y'all
side.
hear me?
Um,
Are you talking
yeah, I
about
can hear
Abdul
you.
Wahid?
We can hear
Yes,
you,
yes,
BBL,
Abdullah
but
Wahid.
Marky talking while
Oh,
you
okay, my
talking.
bad, my
You
bad.
can't.
I
You
was trying
must
to make
can't
sure.
hear
Can
Marky.
you hear me?
I can hear you now. You was
Yeah,
talking
I
about
can.
Abdul
Okay,
Wahid, right?
Yes, yes. I
Okay.
think it could be a racial issue when you talk about the Mexicans, because some of the things I've seen them say, particularly when you talk about Ryan Garcia and his fans and Ryan Garcia's father, we're
Hmm.
talking about nappy headed MFs. So I mean, I definitely do think it is a little bit of racial hatred on that side of it. But I think most of the hate comes from the Tank fans,
Mm.
and because Tank has, to a certain degree, because he is the biggest draw, at least in America, he does have a bit of a media machine behind him that supports him. because
When you
they
say
do
Tank,
want
you're
to
talking about
be.
Abdul Wahid, right?
Yes, yes, Abdul. My
Okay.
bad. Are we supposed to call him Abdul Wahid on the show?
No, no. I was just making sure people know who we talking about. That's all. Go
I,
ahead.
I mean that
BBO just like
respectfully, the
using that
man's name
name.
is Tank. That like Tank is a superstar. Like not Abdul Wahid is not a superstar. Like respectfully, but I mean, yeah, I do think it could be both ways. It could be a racial hatred thing, and I do think it's just a Tank thing. I think it's a fan base rivalry thing.
What about you, Free and B3?
Um, I don't know if it's a if it's a racial thing. I
How my
think
audio coming through, BBO?
yeah, I don't know if it's a racial thing or not. I think when it comes to black fighters, they want a lot of black fighters, black celebrities to be humble, and everybody else can be pretty much outspoken. I mean, you can if you see it that way as a race, I guess you could say it's racial, but I don't think I think it's because me personally, I take it as they want us to be humble because we already know we great. You ain't gotta brag about being great. We already know you great. Can you just be a little bit humble? You already done beat us and everything, so why you gotta be outspoken about it? That's the way I look at it. But I mean, some people look at it as racial. I mean, I ain't mad at it.
How my audio coming through?
You good?
You good? You good?
All right, yeah, I missed a lot of what was being said, so my apologies. But yeah, I think it comes down like you were saying, is it definitely so like people like when you winning a lot, like you're saying, you at the top, that's just come with it. The hate comes when you great. So unfortunately, it's we see now with social media, we see it's more prevalent in our eye gate, and what we're listening to. So it kind of illuminates because you see a lot of people from other races voicing their opinions, where a lot of times in your own individual space, if you weren't on social media, you wouldn't hear these thoughts. You wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So it makes you reactive, so like, how Rice, kind of uh certain things he doesn't like, but we need groups of people to stand up and fight against racism, negativity, people pushing agendas or narratives that are counterproductive. Now, do people will say, "Oh, you're doing it, but you're protecting this person because he's black"? So, because people are discriminating against him because he's black. So that's the counteract. So we need the yin and the yang. We need the opposite, love to counteract the hate. I mean, that's just what it is. That's life.
VVO, you there?
BVO probably done fell off a cliff.
He gonna jump back in.
Now, since we still on Bill and Devin, free, what's a good now with the landscape? What do you thinking Dev and Bill gonna land on the next opponent?
Um, I don't know, to be honest with you, because
It's gonna be tough.
it doesn't look like they're getting to Brian Norman. So, um,
Yeah,
I really don't know. I I mean, there's other guys that he could fight. Will they be good opponents? I mean, it depends on how you view the fighter that they pick because they can pick a guy that is actually a solid individual. It might not be what everybody wants him to fight, but he could be a solid opponent. And people want to say, "Oh, that's a bad opponent." When in all actuality, if that opponent was fighting anybody else, we wouldn't say anything about it. But because
yeah,
Devin is fighting them, people got something to say because they want him to fight certain individuals. And it's the same thing for all of these top level guys when we see them fighting.
yeah,
If they don't fight the certain fighters that we want them to fight, they're gonna be like, oh, this a bad fight. But the same guy could be fighting somebody else that you perceive as a good fighter, but you don't have high expectations of them. But if they fight that same fighter, it's not a problem. So it just depends on who it is. I mean, because
Nah, that's a
there's
big
other,
fact.
yeah, there's other good fights for Devin outside of Brian Norman, Jerron Buchanan, T.O. There's other good guys at 47 that he could fight. It all depends on
Now,
how people look at him.
Mark, you there?
Yeah, Marky did. He
Yeah,
was
I'm
on
here.
mute.
I'm here.
So BBO gonna want me to pretty
You
much
can
kind
hear
of
me?
stay on topic, and yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and free. Y'all know I go off in the boxing more so, but I get you in on this one. What was your thoughts on how Todd Grissom was communicating and treating Devin on the press conferences and stuff like that what was your thoughts on when that whole situation was going on?
You gotta fill me on in on that. I don't know what you're talking about.
So essentially with the whole press conference, Bill he kind of like went off and kind of I guess he somewhat cursed Todd Grisham out. He thought he was disrespecting Devin. He wasn't kind of communicating to the public that this is a former undisputed champion, a champion. You know what I'm saying? That was cheated. They was kind of trying to not highlight the fact that Ryan Garcia was a drug cheat and was on suspension, things of that nature. So they definitely had a confrontation. Now you must have, I'm not sure you missed it, but it was live on camera. They had a slight confrontation after the press conference. And the fact that we talking about Bill and they didn't allow, or Bill being uh pretty much Devin's promoter, for DHP, um, not allowing him to be on stage because over like a Frank Smith, really? Like Frank Smith is not going to bring any entertainment value to your product, respectfully. So yeah, it just seemed like they was kind of trying to.
Uh, I mean, I saw. I don't. I didn't really pay attention to the build up for the new for the mat for the Times Square card, but
Mhm.
I definitely saw it in with how they were talking about Devin Haney in the broadcast. I will give you the fight was pretty boring. However, I will say the Tiafimo fight was pretty boring too. Like it was very boring, and they were saying things like, "This is one of the best performances I've seen from Tio." I mean, I don't really think so. And I mean, personally, I've
Right.
seen Tio way better than that. And
Mhm.
Bosa was slow, and he was still managing to hit Tio at certain times, and was swelling up Tio's face. So, on top of
Yeah.
the fact that just being a slow paced fight and boring as hell with Dev, I mean, they got on him from literally second of round one.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, I get it. And Ryan and not only that, they kept mentioning the Ryan Garcia fight the entire time during that Jose Ramirez fight. They kept bringing it up. Oh, is he recovered yet from the left hook? So I mean,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
it almost seems like a concerted effort, like depending on whose promotion you're under. But the thing is, I think that Bill is okay and comfortable with it being that way. For one, they getting paid millions of dollars. Two, that's just the way it is. But ultimately, you have to have the bad guy in every story. There has to be a villain. You know what I'm saying? So when you got a lot of positivity from the Hispanics and Latinos supporting Golden Boy fighters, so Bill is really assisted by the green print. You know what I'm saying? So he's fought Jojo Diaz, Golden Boy, Jorge Linares, Golden Boy, Ryan Garcia, Golden Boy, Jose Ramirez, Golden Boy. So, you know, I mean, you gotta. I mean, to get the money, you gonna have to do business with Oscar. I mean, it's plain and simple. So that's just what it is.
I mean, I think so,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
you got the Sheik
think
involved. Go ahead, Free.
I think no, I think when it comes to certain fighters, they nitpick and they see all of the flaws. When it comes to other fighters, they overlook flaws. Like
Mhm.
I know exactly what Marky talking about with the whole Devin Haney fight. They was complaining about the Haney fight the entire time. Then when it came to the Ryan fight, they was making excuses for why Ryan Garcia wasn't being more active. I'm like, no, this is a horrible fight. What are you talking about? You making excuses. Ryan is out there scared to death. That man ain't trying. He not trying to get knocked out. He's scared. He looked more scared than Devin Haney looked. In my opinion, I think Devin Haney was just trying to make sure he didn't get hit with a left hook. But Ryan literally looked. He was scared.
Would you
I'm in,
say
I'm in
Ryan was
full
scared to
agreement.
death?
In full agreement.
I said he was scared to death. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my saying. I ain't say he got beat to death. I said he was scared to death.
Absolutely.
And you could tell, and you can tell by him putting his hands in his pockets for what I mean about seven, eight
LOL, Oscar
rounds.
Scholar.
Yeah,
What you say,
Ryan just
B3?
stopped. I said Ryan just stopped throwing punches for about 8 rounds.
BBO,
I
you back?
mean, he didn't have no drugs. He didn't have that second win. You know what I'm saying? It's hard out here when you ain't got your drugs.
But Bentley, I mean, that's your opinion, and I respect you. Uh, the only thing is, Muhammad Ali. I mean, yeah, I think it's a line. So I'm in agreement with you. I think it's a line you definitely need to, because it was beautiful how Brian Norman carried his Justice Saki performance and his humility. But and so it's that's great for the public and for the kids. For a representation of your community. But also we do have Ali that said they're not going to even respect you unless you pull up in that thing. So in this day and age, you really got to pop it, to be the one.
I mean, I don't know if you gotta pop it so much as you just gotta get in there and perform. I mean, you look at to me the top fighters in the world, Usyk, he gets in there and performs. I mean, he goes to different dudes' backyards and beats them half to death. Like that, like that's the great stuff we talk about. We talk about that we want from fighters. What you were saying? And another dude I could bring up, Monster Nui. That dude prints money over there in Japan. You gotta have a monthly subscription with the Tokyo Dome just to get tickets to Inui's fights, and that's just all for him beating folks to death and proving himself time and time again in his country. Tank.
You
I mean,
capping,
Tank
man.
is. I mean, you take what you just say, nigga. What you just say?
Hey, this the Cosby
He
Show.
said you capping now.
Nah.
Will refute my facts.
Mark is hilarious. No, I was just gonna say I was just gonna refute it. I was like, why did Inoue fight Cardenas in the States? Like, what was the whole point of that? Like, I don't think they even did any tickets or nothing. Like, that was awesome.
They did. I mean, there was a pretty good attendance. I think there was about 8,000, 9,000 people out there. Um, I mean, y'all keep saying you want to see him stateside, so there you go. He came over. Now he about
Yeah.
to fight MJ, the dude people keep saying he's ducking, about to beat him half to death over there in Tokyo. Make probably $10 million doing that. I
So
mean,
he's not gonna fight in Saudi?
no, I thought he was. No. He's a Riyadh season ambassador, so I expect him to eventually, but no, he's not fighting
Nah,
MJ in Saudi.
the ambassador is just it's just a sponsorship. It ain't that doesn't mean you have to fight on the card because Abdullah Mason is an ambassador of the Riyadh season. He hasn't
But they
fought on
saying
Riyadh season
Abdullah gonna
card.
fight on Turkey's card this July.
I mean, he
This
might fight
July,
on Turkey card, but that's not
Yeah,
something
you
that
know
you
that.
have to do because you're an ambassador. Because,
bro.
like I said,
That's less
I'm
than
not saying
6 weeks.
it's mandatory. I'm just saying I expect him to do that. I'm not saying that I know it to be a fact. I'm just saying in the future, I expect it. But yeah, I heard Abdullah. That card Turkey was saying to send a audition tape like it was like it was Saudi's Got Talent or whatever. Yeah, I heard Abdullah's supposed to be on that card.
Now,
I,
who's the headliner of that card? Because I haven't heard of about it.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me look it up for you. Saudi.
I don't know.
Yeah, like so another thing, just to kind of pivot, like, do you free? What you think about the Sam Noakes and Abdullah Mason fight?
I think Sam knows is going to sleep.
Mm,
That's good.
I'm not. I'm not high on Sam Notes. He. People say he's a good fighter. I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, you got when you say a person is a good fighter, I got to see based off of what competition. What was the competition has he faced? Just for me to say, okay, you know what, he's a good fighter. That's the same thing like when people was talking about Jennebec. I'm like, based off of what competition? He's a good fighter. If you're talking about C level, yeah, he's a good fighter against that. But when you're talking about A level fighters, I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know.
100%. And it's fun. It's kind of weird that like he hasn't moved up yet, or
So my bad. Turkey said he wants Junto Nakatani and Abdullah Mason to be on the Canelo Crawford undercard.
Yeah, that's not gonna
that
happen.
makes sense.
That's not gonna
I
happen.
mean, it could.
No, 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 no. Not as a matchup for you. Don't think they could have
No, no,
different
no, no,
opponents?
no. Yeah, not the matchup. He's saying he wants these
No,
two
no, no.
young
I
fighters
know,
on his undercard.
I know what you're talking about. I said that's not gonna happen.
Why not?
It's not gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna put it on that card. I think Abdullah Mason is gonna get his first home fight. Let me get
A hometown fight.
20 on
That
one.
makes sense.
I think he's gonna have his first hometown fight for the title.
I like to
Yeah,
see that.
I don't know if Turkey Al Sheik come calling and you got the chance to be on you got the chance to be on the undercard of the fight of the year. I mean, I think Abdullah takes that.
I don't know if it's the fight of the year. Turkey, every card
It's
Turkey
the
put
event of the year, and
every
hands
card he
down.
put on is the event of the year or the event of the century. I don't know. All his cards been
This is
trash.
Canelo versus Bud. This is
Yeah,
absolutely the event of the year.
But he said talent. So all right. So hold on. Let me get this. Let me get some order in here. So let me ask y'all this. He said talent. Y'all, I need 5 fighters from each of y'all that y'all will put on the undercard for talent purposes. Or if y'all don't want to do 5, if most undercards is really well, no, turkey cards be having about 5 to 6 fights.
yeah, they've been
So
having like 5 or 6 fights on that card.
yeah, so
And
give me let me get 5 guys that y'all would think talent wise that y'all would want to see on the card.
Scooter,
Okay. Scooter Davis, yeah.
um, I don't know if he's gonna get him, but that's a talent. Um,
Can I say something really quick, Free? But since you said Scooter, I was just thinking the other day. Turkey. I mean, I know Scooter runs with Tank, and that's his guy, but you can't pass out on money. Turkey should sign Scooter. Scooter should really be one of Turkey's flagship fighters at this point. I think based on his performances, just build him up to be a contender status and world champion. But that's just my thoughts. Go ahead, Free.
yeah, I would love to see the Moulton versus the dude that just fought this past weekend. That fought on the I mean not this past weekend, this past
Giorgio
Thursday.
Vizioli.
Yeah, the one that beat Moulton in the amateurs.
Oh, you talking about Zaquin Moses?
Yeah, Moses. I would
Yeah.
love to see I would love to see that. I would love to see that. They
Ooh.
already had some interaction after one of the fights, and Moses said, "Man, I'm about to knock him out." He said, "I promise you, I'm gonna knock him out."
Ooh.
So I would love to see that.
Definitely.
Um, let me see who else could we get.
Now, just to pivot real
Um,
quick, Free, do you think that's a fight that they marinate? Zaquin versus Carmel.
um, should it marinate? I mean, it probably will because they're in 2 different weight classes. One is at 30, one is at 35. So it probably will marinate for a while.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm be anticipating it because I think that's gonna be some real fireworks.
100%. So that's
Um,
so that's 3 names, or
yeah, I mean you could those are three guys. I mean, you could put them against each other, or you could put them on fights at that card
yeah,
against other opponents.
yeah. I think they should put him against other on some green print. Like they should do a green print type of fight style where they put like really all African American black fighters versus Latino Hispanic fighters, you know. I
Yeah,
think that would be fire.
another guy I want to see because I mean I know he got a fight that's about to come up soon, but I would love to see Ali Felix, the heavyweight.
Yeah, from they fought on Top Rank. Yep.
Yeah, I would love to see him. Get him some more exposure. Um, I'm trying to think who else. Who else would I put on that card? I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess you could throw Million Vargas on there.
Mm. Shout out to Emiliano Vargas. Now, are you ready for a step up for Emiliano? Who would be a good opponent? Would you like Emiliano to fight?
At 40,
Yep.
I mean, I'm trying to think who would be a step up opponent for Emiliano. I was gonna say Keldon at first until I saw his last fight.
Yeah.
I don't think I think that's more of a step up for Keldon than it is for Emiliano.
Right.
Um, trying to think who at 40 that I would say he's not championship level, but he's right below that. I mean, he's that gatekeeper. Maybe somebody like
Is he ready for Nahir Albright?
Campus, the guy that Tio fought when he first went to 40.
Pedro
Campus,
Campa.
yeah, maybe
Pedro
him.
Campa.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yep. Because he's been stopped a few times, and so it'll be some good work for Emiliano.
yeah.
Pedro Campa. Yep. That's a good fight. 100%. Yeah, so shout out to Turkey, man. Hopefully he gets it right with this card. That's gonna be September 13th, Mexican Independence Day. Shout out
BBO
to
say Devin versus Blair Cobb.
Devin versus Blair Cobb.
I think that's a good
Wow.
fight. I think that's a good fight, to be honest with you. Like, I don't like Blair Cobb, but I think he does have talent. I think he poses some problems for Devin. Devin is not going to be able to just clearly outbox him. I think Devin will outbox him, but I don't think it's going to be like he just walks straight through Blair Cobb and just outboxes it, outclass him. I think
I'm gonna
Blair
say
Cobb
this.
has some talent.
Blair Cobb definitely has talent. I Devin really on some only fight champion stuff. He's not gonna really get credit for Blair. So Devin, he's gonna have to fight another champion, or you know. So, but outside of that, Emiliano versus Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez would stop Emiliano respectfully. BVO. So that's
No,
you,
no, he's not fighting the same style that Devin. You looking at what Devin did and say, oh, Emiliano Vargas will beat Jose Ramirez. No, he will not. And
no.
Jose Ramirez is not at 40 either. He's at 147. But even if he was at 40, no, I don't think Emiliano Vargas make it out of that fight.
I give you a matchup for Emiliano. Emiliano versus Nahir Albright. Who you got, free?
Oh, I got Albright. I got Albright.
Too much activity.
Yeah, he boxes and he got decent power. He got decent power.
Yeah.
I don't think Emiliano Vargas looks well in that fight. I think he's gonna look like even if he does make it out of that fight and win, he's gonna look like Virgil Ortiz looked against Burachek.
Mm,
He's gonna look just
yeah.
like that. People gonna say, you know what? I think he might have lost that fight, but they gave it to him because it's Emiliano Vargas. But I honestly don't think that he beats Albright. I think Albright beats him. But it is a step up
Now,
fight for him.
this is the fight that I want to see. I want to see Tito Mercado in with Emiliano. I think both of them are. Now, do you think that's a little bit too much for Emiliano, or do you think that would be a good turkey card type of matchup?
Matado,
Tito Mercado.
that might be a little bit too much.
Oh yeah.
little bit like a million. Just he got like 13 fights, 12 or
Let
13
me
fights.
check, man. Emiliano, he getting up there, man, and he's stopping dudes.
Yeah, he got like I think he got like 12 or 13 somewhere around there. I know he doesn't have as many as Duda. Duda got like 19 fights or 18. I
Yeah.
think
Shout out to Mason.
I think he got like 12 or 13. But eventually he's gonna have to start fighting some tougher competition. He's gonna have to because he's trying to make a name for himself, and you can't make a name by fighting low level competition.
Emiliano is 21, 14 and 0, 12 KOs. Um. Okay.
14. So he got
Yep.
14 fights.
So last fight was Juan Leon, May 25th. He scheduled a fight on July 25th. Alexander Espinoza. Okay. So I'm thinking that card was on the 26th. That card is on the 25th. Did they change the date?
Oh, matter of fact, I got another fight for Emiliano Rogers. It might be too much for him, but it's another fight. The guy that Keyshawn Davis
Let
fought
me check
last,
Ticketmaster.
the last guy that Keyshawn Davis fought before he came champion, that he moved down from 140, and he didn't make the weight. What is his name? He had just got finished fighting Africa, and then he fought Keyshawn next. Um, Limos, Limos,
Yes, Limos.
yeah.
For who?
Emilio, I think that
Emiliano? Yeah,
I
that'll
think
be
that
a good.
might. I think that it might be a tad bit too much for
Nah, I think he
Emiliano.
can stop. I think he can stop him. I think Emilion can stop Lemos. Shout out to Coach Eddie. We definitely need to see Rashidi Ellis in the mix for sure. I think Rashidi Ellis just came off a third round stoppage this weekend, and he is ranked high in the WBO. I believe he was six last time I checked. So, um, well, no, he's seven. Rohan Polanco was six. So, Adrian Clark, they did speak and they did say that Rashidi is on the short list for Brian Norman hometown fight, Rashidi Rohan, guys like that. Probably Alexis Rocha may be an option as well. Maybe.
Hey, that could be a good fight for Devin Speedy Rasheed Ellis.
Yeah, K Rod salute. Yeah, he 100% he is. Say that again. For
I
who?
said
For who? Free
I said that could be a good fight for Devin Speedy
Rashidi.
Ellis. Yeah,
Rashidi, yeah, that would be a good fight. That'd be a tough fight for Devin. I think Rashidi, stylistically, is being a counterpuncher, very athletic, very twitchy. Um, strong at the weight. If he's still making 147 well, yeah, that's definitely a good fight for Devin for sure, but a tough fight,
yeah. I think.
100%.
I mean, Speedy doesn't have the name that he once had before. But he's trying to get back to that. I mean, he get in there with Devin and he beats Devin. That definitely puts his name back in the mix again.
Man, the BVO 100% free. He talking about Charlo versus and Billy at 168. Listen, don't get Jamal stopped at 168, fooling with that African and Billy. He will have to literally he's gonna have to knock him out. Now, can he knock him out? Yes, but and Billy a workhorse. So I mean, Charlo really got to be ready for that work rate. He got to be ready for that type of fight. I remember Montiel was a handful for Charlo. So if and Billy he's been showing a good chin. But I will say Jamal got that jab to keep him off of him. So
Yeah, I'm about to
that'll
say
be a
that.
good fight. That jab, I mean, yeah, you like you saying, if he keep that jab on him, he could keep and Billy off of him. But
Yeah,
mm,
I think for somebody like that, I think Maul needs at least one more fight to get all the way back in the groove. Another fight like in the next 4 or 5 months, give him another fight so he can get back in the groove of fighting again. Because
yeah.
he got the ring rust off, but now he got to get back into that groove of fighting again. So I think he needs another tougher fight than what he just had because Cornflake wasn't a tough fight at all. But he needs a tougher fight than Cornflake, but another fight like in the next 5 or 6 months, so he can be back in the groove of fighting again. And then I think, oh yeah, you can put him in there
Now,
with
do
somebody
you
like a Chris MBD.
no next? Oh, you say you still want one fight. Now let me
Yeah,
ask
one
you:
more
Is
fight.
Demetrius, is
And
Boo Boo Andre? You still want one more fight before Boo Boo Andre?
no, I think him and Boo Boo Andre can get it in now because Boo Boo
Okay.
hasn't fought since he quit.
Ooh, yeah, he did. I mean, that was tough, man. That was abuse.
Yeah, they can
Um,
get it on now. That would be his second fight. They get him back in the groove because Boo Boo don't look like the Boo Boo at 54. He don't look like that Boo Boo at 68. I think the weight might have slowed him down. I think the weight slowed him down because at 68, or it could be the
but
ring rust too.
but we did see. Well, let's say this. Let's say this. He did get touched up a little bit by Demond Nicholson, so we do have that data. I mean, 'cause Demond was a competitive fight for him. You know what I'm saying? Before,
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
all
saying.
and
When he
he
moved
might have
up there,
even got.
he didn't look
I don't
like
know
it
if he got dropped. I don't think he got dropped in that fight. Did he?
against Demond Nicholson.
Let me check.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
But
I think
well, let me just say that. Let me just.
did he get dropped?
He might have got dropped. I'm gonna look up it up right now. But I just said that to say, um, I mean, he's not like overwhelming. I mean, him and Charlo's probably stop Boo Boo respectfully at this age.
Yeah. Like I said, if you look at the two fights that Boo Boo had at that weight class, he didn't look good. I don't know if it's too much weight for Boo Boo or what, but he didn't look good at all. Um,
They said that he put on a lot of weight for that Benavidez fight for sure. Like he had regained so much weight. I forgot the exact number, but they said he had regained a lot of weight. Okay, it's not on box rec that he got dropped, so I'm not gonna say that. I know he 100% dropped Nicholson. That's for a fact. He dropped Nicholson, but he skunked Nicholson on the scorecards. One all three judges had it 188. So outside of that, those are his only two fights at 68. And like you saying, Boo Boo hasn't fought since November 25th, 2023 against Benavidez. So I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. I would rather see the Jamal versus Kayla fight, than that. Even though Kayla coming off a loss, but everybody falling off. I don't know if BVO coming back. What up? The link. I don't know. Dub. BVO got to come back, so hit him up. I'm gonna have to cook for a second. Just let me know if the audio is still in effect. I don't know if the guys is dropping off. Can y'all hear me? Just testing 1 2 testing. Yeah, everybody fell off for whatever reason. What's good? Fire away, Bentley. I'll cook. What up? Let me see. Okay, the audio is crispy. Okay, yeah, Dub. Yeah, text a BVO. But yeah, what's happening, Dub? It was a great weekend in the sport of boxing. Um, let me stay on topic though. So, shout out to my brother BVO. He's back in the building. Okay, he's got free back in the building.
yeah,
Okay.
for some reason I dropped off.
Yeah, STN is back in the building.
Hey, Coach Eddie, pull up. I've been looking for you, man.
Yeah, come in, coach. What makes people think Bud can pull this one off? And if he wins, will he surpass Floyd as the all-time GOAT?
Nah, he won't be
Ye-
the all-time great. I think, because of his talent and a lot of people thinking that Canelo is on a downslide, that's why they believe that Bud could win. Me personally, I don't know if Bud is going to win. I will be rooting for Bud to win, but my vote is that Canelo is going to win because that's a lot of weight that Bud got to put on that he never fought at before. And regardless of what people may say, I saw what Bud looked like the first time he fought at 54. He didn't look like the Bud that I'm used to seeing. Now he pulled it off, and I thought he pulled out the last two rounds. I had it a draw, going into the 11th round, and I thought he won the last two rounds to get the win. But he didn't look like the Bud that I'm used to seeing. The Bud that fought Spence in earlier, I mean the year prior looked way better than that. The Bud that fought David Avenija looked way better than that. So I don't.
Let me say this. How my audio coming through? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
good,
you
man.
good?
Yeah, you
My
good. You good,
apologies.
good brother.
You got that dollar store phone. Go ahead.
Nah, what Bentley was saying. Let me say this. I think with all due respect, Floyd may have a better resume, but the 3-time undisputed does give Crawford a leg to stand on. All I'm gonna say is this: Floyd is going to be the GOAT, eh, period, just off of the strength of he has two Hall of Fame careers, as one is Pretty Boy and then one is Money May. But to answer your question, why do people think Bud can pull the fight off? Right. So for one, he has faster feet and way better footwork than Canelo. And ultimately, Bud is a cerebral fighter who we've seen dominate Errol Spence. Now, do I believe Errol Spence was at his best for that fight? No. But I mean, it is what it is. The fight happened. So we saw Bud get like 11 straight stoppages. From 140 to 147. Now, the Madrimov fight, that was a tricky style, yes. But we have seen Bud versus Postal. So the fact that he can box on the perimeter against a Postal for 12 rounds, really, and drop him 3 times, he has that ability to fight off the back foot. Um, and we know that he can punch. So he can earn Canelo's respect as well. Now, Canelo really has to knock Crawford out. Let's be honest. Um, as long as they're fighting, Crawford is going to be punching Canelo. Now, let's just be honest here. Uh, it's going to be it's almost leaning towards this fight not going the distance. I think that's probably the early favorite decision to make on this fight. Not go the distance.
Well, I'll say this, man. Salute to my man, Coach Eddie, coming to hang out with the brothers. I know he don't like to hang out with blacks too often, but I appreciate you coming to hang out with the niggas, man. Appreciate you. And we got my man Barnell Hill. Let me get my man Barnell Hill his drop before we go. Hold on one second. Where is his drop at? Here we go.
I do it for the children. You can take the children and bounce them on their knees. Bounce them on the knee and then sing a melody. The Barnell man. Did you mean he's mine?
But shout out to
Real
go,
quick, man. Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
I want to say this before you go. 'Cause I want you to do your thing. But I mean, I understand you and Bentley probably never heard of a guy named Cassius Clay, but I would put Cassius Clay, and I definitely would put my man what's his name, Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson, man, ahead of Floyd. Floyd is not in the top 5, man, of greatest fighters, man. We got to stop this, man. We got to stop this. But go ahead, Varnell. I know you want to get in on. Go ahead, Varnell.
Well, first things first, shout out to my brother Sombrero in the building, my brother Three, my brother Free, and the great brother Coach Eddie, man, straight out of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pass the mic to my brother Coach Eddie because he a Georgia brother like myself. So I'm gonna let Coach Eddie get his off, and then I'll say what I'm gonna say afterward. Go ahead, Coach.
Hey man, I appreciate that introduction, brother. I think this is my first time on the panel. Salute to all the great brothers that's up here. Uh, I like the press conference today. far as I'm concerned with the Bud and Canelo fight, man, I really feel confident, man, that Bud gonna pull it off, man. It's like I really don't have no resignation. Just cause I feel that way don't mean that it's gonna happen. But that's just how I feel. I feel that he got all the skills, the attributes to pull the fight off and to give Canelo the problems. One thing I noticed about Canelo, a lot of the guys that get in the ring with him, they're pretty much already mentally beat already. Either they're happy to be there, or they just showing up for the payday, or just trying not to get knocked out or something. And Bud seemed like he's there to win, there to represent. I think the fight is bigger. I think it's a significant fight for Bud. And I think he feels like he really needs to win this fight. And today, when I watched the press conference, the body language, I know that don't really mean too much. Face off, it can mean some things, it cannot. So a lot of people don't like to put too much, credence into a press conference or a face off. But it just seemed like a statement was made today, and I seen agitated. Canelo Alvarez really seemed agitated because I don't think he's used to people being authentic when they step to him like that. Yeah, Berlanga, he had a lot of raw, but it wasn't authentic. It was fake. It was an act. But this was real, and I think he's seen it. And he looked generally agitated, and I liked how Crawford continued to antagonize Canelo, to anger him. I see Canelo he was angry for whatever reason, and Bud was just sitting there laughing in this dude's face, man. That really makes you angry when somebody's laughing in your face. You're mad, and they're laughing in your face, and so-called poking the bear. But I think that Crawford gonna bust this dude up, man. I ain't saying he's gonna stop him, but Canelo had that fair skin, man, and he can get lumped up. I seen him get lumped up in a lot of his fights, man. I think that's gonna be the key to the fight. That way, because sometimes judges will score damage,
You
but
think
he
you
can
can
go in
stop
there.
him?
I mean, anything's possible, man. I've seen that a lot of people get stopped or knocked out that I've thought they couldn't get knocked out. But if he hits him right, hit him with the right shot, and the Canelo doesn't see the punch, yeah, of course he can get hurt. He can get knocked out, or he
Let
can
me
get
ask you.
stopped.
Let
So,
me ask
Coach,
you
you
this,
hold on. Let me
Coach.
do this before you go to B3. So, Coach, you saying that he hits harder than Triple G?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the punch that you don't see, that's the one that hurts you.
And Coach is absolutely, and this is one of the things I want to kind of cook off what Coach Eddie just said. One of the things I noticed about the press conference as well, Bud was sitting there smiling, being Bud. You know what I'm saying? Being very authentic. Canelo was the one who got who was upset in the press conference. It's interesting because the last thing you fight off of in the sport of boxing is emotion. You can't fight off of emotion. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very
100%.
disciplined. And one of the things that I feel with Canelo, I think that Canelo, he feels he needs the knockout. You know what I'm saying? The push, all that kind of, he trying to impose himself, which is what fighters do. But at the same time, when you have somebody who just look at you and it ain't like that, bro. Hey, I'm just gonna put hands on you. That's it. I'm gonna just put hands on you. And that's what Bud looking like right now. I give a lot of credit to Bud after the EJ fight. I know a lot of people say EJ didn't look right, this, that, whatever. I ain't that ain't no excuse to me. You know what I'm saying? When you get in the ring, you should be ready to fight. And so he got hands put on him. And so at the end of the day, man, I'm happy that this fight is happening. I love the press conference. I love the build up. At the same time, I got to see how things play out in the ring. And like Coach Eddie said, we ain't never gonna be 100% correct on picking fights. But I think Bud he bring more confidence. He not just looking to beat it, he looking to win. Even the whole moving thing and Turkey coming out saying extra meal for the knockout. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Bud with a knockout. I don't see it. But until Canelo knock Bud out, I think Canelo gonna be losing the rounds. I think he gonna lose rounds easily against Bud. I think Bud the better boxer, and so it's gonna
I
be a
got a
tough.
question for you.
But then, can I? Go ahead.
Let me finish, man. Go back. Go finish, man. Go ahead, Dub.
It's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead, three.
No, finish, Dub. Stop. Go finish.
No,
He
I'm
was
good. I'm good.
You was pretty much finished, Dub. I gotta ask you this: how much do you believe the added weight is going to affect Bud? Do you think he's going to be able to carry that weight, or do you think it's going to weigh on him and mess with his stamina, his endurance?
I don't think the weight's gonna be the problem. I think Bud and his team, I think they're smart enough to understand what they need to do against Canelo. Um, weight, it does mean a lot. I can see what you're saying as far as the lack of movement, those type of things. I can see that piece of it, but I think they understand it, and um, it's interesting to me. I listened to Bomac talk about, and I got to refer back to the EJ fight. That was the last big fight, in my personal opinion. Bud was in. I didn't think the Magic Mall fight was that big of a fight. You know what I'm saying? And Bomac, they already said, nah, we gonna put hands on them. We understand what we got to do, and I think it's gonna be the same way. They break film down fantastically. Bud, Bomac, Coach Red, all of them in that camp, they break film down fantastically, and I think they understand what Canelo weaknesses are, and they're gonna exploit it. You know what I'm saying? And with Bud, even with him putting that extra weight on, he's still gonna be the longer fighter. You know what I'm saying? He got he got a
Yeah.
74-inch arm reach. Canelo got a 60-inch arm or 68-inch arm reach. But
Now,
Canelo gonna be there to get hit
Oh,
for.
let me say this before you go, B3, and then I'm gonna get out your way
Well,
because
you hold on. You told the brother to let me finish, and then
oh,
you.
my bad. I didn't mean to hop on you. Go ahead, finish. My bad.
All I'm saying is, I think they understand how to utilize range, distance, and power. You know what I'm saying, and where that power is gonna come from. We But we used to seeing him throw hooks, those type of things against some of the smaller fighters. Against EJ, he ran it down the middle with the power jab. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
what was hurting EJ. So I think they understand what Canelo deficiencies are, and they're going to exploit them. They've been studying this fight for a long time, and when you study a fighter, you know what I'm saying, and you can figure out what they do. And Bud, in my personal opinion, can do it all. So and what they roughly the same age. Bud, what, 37, 30, 36, 37 right now. Canelo 34, 35. I'm okay with it. I think it's going to be a good fight, but I think Bud can pull it off.
Well,
Now
let
go
me
you
ask you
go
this,
ahead,
Coach Eddie,
BBL.
man, because I don't want to forget to ask you why I got you here. So we usually talk about this all the time because we won't have you on more, so we gonna talk about this. But I want to ask you a question, man. What do you think about what you're seeing? I know in Cleveland, man, there's been like an increase um violent crimes with younger kids. What do you think that is attributed to? What would you say? Can you
Now
hear me,
you
Coach?
done, now you done move the goalpost.
No, I want to. I want to make sure I asked Coach that before he got here. What you think before he got
Hey,
out here? What you think, Coach?
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah. That question for me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I thought you was asking the other brother. You talking about the violence in Cleveland?
No, just in general, like we've seen an uptick. Well, I was speaking in Cleveland, just in that aspect, but we're seeing
Yeah.
an uptick in violence where we're seeing kids between 15 and 20 committing most of the violent crimes in America at this point. Where do you think that's coming from?
To be honest, man, this really started back in the '80s, man, and right now it's just coming to a head, man. You know, to me, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna be. It's the music, bro. It's the music and the culture, man, and it's the lack of not viewing a black man as a brother, but seeing him as a nigga, and not having empathy or sympathy or being able to look past this person, whatever their infraction is, whether you felt like you was disrespected or this person crossed you, and just really just making a bad decision in a temporary situation, which is a feeling and an emotion, and that's what we get in, man. And like I say, just the constant poison. A lot of these kids are walking around with headphones and earpods, and they're constantly listening to poison all day long, and it's getting into them, man. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the music. That's my opinion.
Let me ask you this, Coach, and then I'm gonna get out the way and let B3 do his thing. The reason I asked you that is because we seen Bud Crawford, who was kind of, I would say to a lot of people, a beacon or an example of what you want to see. Married man, all his children with the same woman. What do you think about seeing a guy like that and then hearing that it has some type of thing where he end up, messing around, having another kid? Why do you think so many black men who obtain money and power always become like a sexual deviant? Where does that come from, you think?
Well, I think Evander Holyfield was another guy who did it, man. I think it's lust, man. You reach a status, and now you got a whole lot of women shooting at you, and they can't resist that temptation, man. I'm not excusing what he did, and I'm not, giving him a pass because at the end of the day, he didn't make the right decision. But basically, just that physical lust, man, and just everybody pulling at you, all these ladies pulling at you stuff. Now you just got all this temptation that you're surrounded by, and you got to be able to resist it. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't do it. He didn't do the right thing.
At some point in time, we just got to call a spade a spade. As humans, we are imperfect. You know what I'm saying? And I disagree with the decisions, but everybody gonna make their own decisions. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we're not gonna be all the way in order with our decisions that we make because we imperfect people. And I just think at the end of the day, Brad, to criticize Bud for it, well, we can criticize a lot of people for it. We can go down this road and talk about a lot of fighters that done went down this same road as far as multiple children by multiple different women. We can go down that road, but at the same time, yeah, if we do that, then we're gonna be talking about everybody.
You cold.
That's the truth.
And the only reason I bring that up is because I've never seen a man so excited who just lost his family. Shout out to Bud Crawford. He let it be known that him and his girlfriend are no longer together. But I've never seen a man so excited to lose his whole family, man. What did you think? Why do you think the excitement is still there, even though he's losing his family?
I don't think he look at it as him losing his family. I think he look at it as I done moved forward in life, and we all know we done all dealt with women. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't think I wouldn't look at it that way. I look at it as I got a blessing as far as another child, and I'm gonna do everything I can for my for my newborn. You know what I'm saying? The same way I'm gonna do everything I can for all my other children. And that's why I always tell y'all I don't want no more children. I got one. I'm proud of them, and I'm pouring everything I got into them. But outside of that, I ain't trying. I don't need no more. I don't want no more. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, let me jump in on this real quick. Speaking on behalf of Bud, um, and, he definitely just got a great turkey payday with this Canelo fight. He's already a very wealthy man. Um, I think once he retires from the sport of boxing, he'll have plenty of time. I'm sure he'll have more kids. It's a lot of beautiful women uh, walking this earth, as we all know. So let me ask this. Let me get us back on track. I need from all of the panel.
appreciate you, B. For
Can
getting us back on track. I appreciate that.
can Bud Crawford hurt Canelo? Let's start with Coach Eddie.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. He can hurt him. I've seen him hurt. I've seen him hurt before. Like I say, it's the shots that you don't see. Those are the ones that hurt you, man. The surprise punches. And the thing about it, just because you haven't visibly seen a fighter hurt, doesn't mean that he wasn't hurt. Because some fighters have great poker faces. That dude may have been, the whole ring may have been spinning around the ring, and you would never know it because he knows he's been there before. See, one thing about being experienced, once you experience being hurt and sparring or in the ring, you know how to deal with it. And every fighter gets hurt multiple times in fights, and sometimes we just can't see it. Now, if you know what you're looking for, I can pretty much 99% tell when a fighter's been hurt or when it's been buzzed because I look at the legs. If I see a leg buckle, or if I see a fighter change his behavior, if I see a fighter start to back up a little bit, if I see a fighter who was coming forward and now he stops, that means let me know that he either got buzzed, he's trying to recuperate, or something happened that changed the momentum of the fight, whether it's a body shot. A lot of times there's sneaky little body shot that hurts fighters, but we don't know it because a lot of guys just have great poker faces, man. Some fighters, when they You hit him. Now use Anthony Joshua for instance. When he get hurt, he comes apart like a $2 watch. It's very noticeable when he get hurt because his legs go to acting up. His knees buckle. He starts wobbling. The same thing when Wilder, he went through all them wars with Tyson Fury, he can't take punches to the side of the head. So you hit him in the side of the head, his equilibrium goes instantly. His legs are gone. So yeah, 100%. Not only hurt him, but the thing about it, he can just bust him up. See, one thing I noticed about this, and people might think I'm crazy, but I'm standing on this. I believe Canelo lost his last fight when he fought William Skull. I really do, and I would put
Oh
it
my
like
God.
this. No, I'm not. Just hear me out. If you disagree, that's fine. But if you just
Coach,
put them,
Coach Eddie, we call the brother Sombrero now. So when you start talking bad about Canelo, he gonna cut you off. He gonna cut you off.
okay, I did. I will. That's
Well,
cool.
yeah, BBO's flagship fighters are Emiliano Vargas, Canelo Alvarez, and Virgil Ortiz.
You
I
mentioned
got you. Okay, cool.
Jamel Charlo. You mentioned Jamel
Well,
Charlo.
well, you disown blacks every so often, but continue, Coach Eddie.
Yeah. So like the reason why I felt like that William won that fight. It was because first of all, Canelo only threw 168 punches for a 12-round fight. They landed identical punches. I think Canelo landed one more punch than him. Second of all, if Canelo was not the A side and you just looked at it as fighter A and fighter B, you would say that white dude with red hair is doing absolutely nothing. Because that's exactly what he did. And
Were you awake
everybody
during
sitting
that
there
fight, Coach?
I watched it several times, and I challenge you to go back and watch it objectively. If you watched William Skull did not run from Canelo. He did not do what Devin Haney did. He held the center of that ring a lot of that fight, and he dared Canelo to come forward, and Canelo stood there and looked at it because William Skull had enough firepower to keep Canelo honest, and he hit Canelo enough time where Canelo was hesitant. Say, no, I don't need to get hit by this guy, but William Skull was a much bigger fighter than Canelo Alvarez, and he had enough pop and enough sting on those punches to keep Canelo Alvarez honest. That's why he did not pursue him, because William Skull was probably a lot sharper than he anticipated. Because whenever Canelo got close to him, William Skull ran combinations on him and slid out the back door on him, and Canelo was hitting the air. And even one judge had it 5 rounds to 7. One judge had it 5 rounds to 7, which is signifying a close fight. One judge gave Canelo a round that he threw 4 punches in and landed 0 punches. Let that sink in. How can you win a round throwing 4 punches and land 0, and they give you that round? Let you know the scorecard was already filled out.
Hey, well, Coach, we
That's
know
cold.
that.
Hey,
We
Coach,
know.
that's a heck of an accusation.
Hold on, real quick. We know the Manila folders was already passed out. We know that. We understand that.
Oh my God.
No, they was already passed out. I want to ask real quick, Coach, your background as far are you coach? You coach Eddie. Are you a boxing coach?
Yes, sir. I own my own boxing gym. Had about 30 amateur fights. I had 3 professional fights. I was 3-0 as a pro.
You fought on the same card as Ivan did, correct?
No, it was Tim Witherspoon Jr. We fought
in Columbus. I apologize.
Yeah, we fought on that card right there a long time ago. I had 3 fights. I was a sport. Didn't fight any notable guys. I fought a couple of cans. I was a sparring partner for guys like O'Neal Bill, guys like Tony Hanshaw. I got some work with those guys. So, I was a pretty decent fighter. I got a late start in boxing, but I can hold my own. Like I said, I can compete with a lot of guys, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. They think it's such a huge difference between the guys you see on TV and the guys you see in the gym, and it really isn't, man. Because I was a sparring partner for a world champion. I only had like one pro fight, and I was giving him good work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, but that's neither here nor there.
No, we just wanted your background. We just wanted the background.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I ain't gonna hold it up like anybody else want to tune in. I thought that William Skull beat Canelo, but then William Skull comes out and said that Turkey Al-Sheikh came to the locker room and told him don't mistreat Canelo. So isn't any truth to that?
Let me say this. I don't want to.
That's why I say the Manila folders was passed out.
Oh
Coach.
my
That's
God.
why I say.
Yeah, I don't want to put no slander on the black man. Turkey been doing a lot for the sport of boxing. Dub right side. Can Bud hurt Canelo?
Absolutely. As coach said, it ain't. I think one of the great things about Bud is that he can land that shot that you don't see coming. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of his specialties, and I think he hurt a lot of fighters like that. At the same time, I will say I think Canelo got a chin on him. I think he got a beard. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if he will hurt Canelo. I think he can if he catch him with one of them sneaky shots. I think that you go out in this fight and you look to outbox the brawler. You know what I'm saying? And in my personal opinion, Canelo, ever since, well, it's been even before it, but we seen what happened when he fought Bivol. You know what I mean? Bivol outboxed him. And I think Bud has the same opportunity to outbox him as well as hurt him. So I think it's gonna be a good fight. I still think Canelo got a good chance to win this fight. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm in between. I'm in between right now. I got I ain't gonna bring that out. But at the end of the day, I'm picking Bud to win the fight. I'm picking Bud. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if he hurt Canelo, and I think there are different levels to hurt. You know what I'm saying? With the beard that Canelo has, yeah, you could crack him, but that don't mean you truly hurt him. I think Bud got to go to the body consistently. Canelo gonna go to the body, and I think you need to be in range and just out of range. You know what I'm saying? Which that's a difficult thing to do in boxing, but I think Bud has that IQ to do it. That's the other thing that, and going into the whole hurt piece, I think the IQ of Bud is totally different than Canelo's. I think Bud IQ is higher.
I agree
And
with that.
so because Bud has a higher IQ, like I said earlier, I think they're gonna study the film, they're gonna know what Canelo weaknesses are, and they're gonna exploit those weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? So if they do
Yeah,
that, then I look for Bud to win, but I
let me
do
get in
think
order. Let me get in order real quick, Doug. Salute to everybody that came in the chat that's shouting us out. Crush the Legends in the chat. Blood Rush, of course, Bentley, Tone Deaf, Anthony, Piero. Salute to everybody, man, that came in. Free, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
What you think about this? Can Bud hurt Canelo?
There's not a single person in this world that Bud can't hurt. It's a matter of will he hurt him.
For your radio.
Oh my bad. It's not. Yeah, it's not a single person that Bud can't hurt. It's a matter of will he hurt him because there's nobody in this world that's Iron Man. Everybody can be hurt. It's just a matter of will he hurt him. I don't know if he will. Um, he can. I don't know if he will.
I agree with that. What you think, BVO? Can Bud hurt Canelito?
Uh, I think if he has brass knuckles, maybe. Um, but I'll say this, man. All jokes aside, I think that this is another circus, and we're going to see somebody possibly get beat almost to death or within an inch of their life. And I think what Bud is doing is cute. We see it all the time. You know, it's always a joke and fun until we get in the ring, and then when we get in the ring and he's all bloody and getting carried out like they did Trey and Boys in the Hood, then we say, "Oh man, Bud, you was too small." At the end of the day, man, I think this will be a win for Canelo. That's absolutely nothing. Beating Bud Crawford does nothing for him. It just shows you how much of a whore Canelo has become for money when he fights a guy who has no right to be in the ring with him. Um, Canelo has been nothing less than a pig. To see him not fight David Benavidez has been disgusting. And I just think me as a Canelo supporter, we got to say the truth. I think Canelo needs to get away from Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso again has another fighter under his tutelage, testing positive for PEDs. It's a real crap show over there. And I think that Canelo, who to me has been the greatest fighter since Floyd Mayweather left, he's constantly in some trash. And I think that there's another side show from him. And I say that I'll be excited, and and that's the first time I'm saying this. I'll be excited to see Canelo Alvarez get out of sport. He's been terrible the last 6 to 7 years. He hasn't fought anybody that we want to see him fight. He gets up there and he lies. His smug attitude has worn on me and a lot of his fans. Because it's just ridiculous, man. He's worse than Floyd was. I've never seen a dude talk boss dog talk, and you ain't fought the guys that you should have beat. We know you will beat the tacos out of David Benavidez, but go do it.
No, we don't know
Don't
it. We
this
don't
is
know that.
hold
We
on, hold
don't
on. I
know
didn't
that.
interrupt you. Hold on, I didn't interrupt you.
Yes,
I
you
didn't
did.
interrupt you.
Absolutely, you did.
No, I
Absolutely, you
didn't.
did. Yes,
You
you
out of
did.
order, Dub. You out of order.
I didn't do that.
I
But you
caught
my
that. Know
brother.
what? Go ahead.
You my brother, and I love you. It's okay though. But I just think really, like I said, Canelo has been an absolute pig. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a guy named E40. He has a logo where a pig is eating money out of a crate. That's Canelo. Canelo was a pig eating money out of the crate. There's nothing that you can't buy and make him do, and he's nothing more than a trick pony. And I just say this, man, I think he's really killing his legacy because Bud Crawford doesn't even belong to be in the same atmosphere as Canelo Alvarez. I mean, this is the same Canelo who had Andre Ward scared to come put his boots on,
Whoa,
and
whoa,
now you're
whoa,
gonna
whoa.
fight, and now you're gonna
Yeah.
fight a guy like Bud Crawford. It's a joke, man. And I just
Now,
hope.
hold on,
I
hold
just
on.
hold.
So,
Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm almost done. I'm planning the plane. I just think that this goes to show how far Canelo has fallen, and it's disgusting, man, to see him do such horse behavior with all that talent. And I give him an F for this fight, and I think Canelo's a loser for taking this fight. But go
nah,
ahead.
BBR, I got it. No, I gotta finish. I had your closing for you. Is this a legit fight or a circus fight?
It's a circus, man. It's what it's always is with Canelo. Canelo is a whore who can be bought. He's not a world fighter anymore. He hasn't fought nobody in years. He's like Dr. Dre. Tupac said it about Dr. Dre. Yeah, he was great, but he ain't done nothing in years, man. Years. This not the same guy who we seen beat Miguel Cotto to death in his prime. It's not the same
Man,
guy we see
36 years
beat
old. Stop lying, bro.
Shane
You
who
capping,
beat who beat Shane Mosley in his prime. It's not the same guy. But it is what it is. But go ahead, y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Who was about
Yo,
to get in there? Coach Eddie, go ahead, coach.
yeah, let me jump in real quick. Man, that right there was preposterous, man, with all due respect, brother. First of all, Shane Mosley was 40 years old when he fought Canelo. Canelo had over 20 something guys on his resume with losing records. Let's start right there. Second of all, he made his bones off of beating small, old, washed up fighters that were on their way out. He had names like Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley was 40 years old. He couldn't even stop it. He fought a smaller Miguel Cotto who made started his career off at 135 pounds. Couldn't stop him either. This man was 36 years old. He fought an old, washed up, drunken Carlos Baldomir. And yeah, of course, he knocked him out. That dude was 40 something years old. Every time he stepped up and fought somebody halfway decent, it was very competitive or some controversy. When
What
he
about when
fought
we beat
Austin,
Austin Trout?
I was just about to say that. When he beat Austin Trout, I'll give him credit for that. When he fought Landy Lord, hey, pick him 50-50 fight, whatever you like. Some people say he won, some people say he lost. When he fought Danny Jacobs, that was a 5-7 affair. He did not dominate Danny Jacobs. He lost to Triple G when he fought him the first time. Second time, it 50-50 fight, whatever you like. I 100% think he lost to Triple G the first time they fought. Well, of course, when he fought Floyd, he got took to school. When he fought Bill, he got took to school. So basically, when Canelo fights, and everybody's sitting there acting like this guy's a knockout artist. He's not. He has like 65 or 67 fights. He got 39 stoppages. So he's not like he's walking around like George Foreman with a 90-something% KO rate. That's not him. That's not the guy. You got a guy who fights in spurts, who does not let his hands go, who can't move his head like he used to. The upper body movement is gone. The legs are trash. He got a bum trainer in Eddie Reynoso who stand there with a goddamn pool noodle, and they do the same combinations over and over and over again, and that crap ain't working no more, man. And he's gonna get busted up. I'm telling you, Terrence Crawford's gonna bust this
Coach,
dude up before long
you
is
remember
long.
you remember we came and stopped Sergey Kovalev, the monster. We wouldn't have
Man,
stopped
that
him.
dude was drunk. Man, that dude was a drunk. Man, stop it, man. Let me stop it. It matters when you fight
Everybody's a
people.
drunk now.
It really does matter. It really does matter when you fight people. I promise you, it does. You know, just because you beat a guy who's already been stopped 2 or 3 times, who's freaking drunk, had a quick turnaround, and you put a rehydration clause on, all that plays a factor, man. So
Now,
you got to put some context in when you making all these comparisons, man.
let me get
Like I
in here,
said,
coach.
go ahead, brother.
So I watched the press conference today, And I pick up on social cues, mannerisms, and things like that. Um, and one of the guys tried to, he was shoe shining Eddie Reynoso a question to Canelo, trying to praise Eddie Reynoso on his question. But when he spoke to Crawford, he didn't mention anything about Bomac and his trainer, since he wanted to Bovier about a trainer. He should have did it for both sides versus just one side. So he showed biasness. My question to the panel, y'all can start. Whoever wants to start, Dub, if you want to start, is Eddie Reynoso a great trainer in your opinion? Dub.
Eddie Reynoso is a hell of a trainer. The problem is everybody in his camp end up popping dirty. It ain't got nothing to do with training. I think he's a hell of a trainer, but you can't have everybody popping dirty. It shows there's a lack of discipline and advantages looking to be gained, in my personal opinion. So uh, I'm not saying, hey, I give Eddie Reynoso credit for his training skills, but at the same time, you can't have everybody in your camp popping dirty and we not look at you.
100%. That's a
Eddie
fact.
Eddie Reynoso is a mediocre trainer. He only
Mhm.
had he only got one top level fighter in his entire camp. He's a mediocre trainer. I don't think highly of Eddie Reynoso. Everybody that he trains fight one way only. There's no adjustments made to their games or none of that. He's a mediocre trainer.
Coach Eddie.
Yeah, I agree with what my brother just said. He's a mediocre trainer. Out of if on a scale from 1 to 10, I would probably rate him a 6. He's no Emmanuel Stewart. He's no Eddie Futch. He's no Georgie Benton. He's none of those guys. I want to like to see him take another champion from scratch and see what he can do. Now, one thing I can say, he is a heck of a matchmaker, and he is a heck of a manager, and he is somebody who guides Canelo's career and tell him who to stay away from and who not to fight. Because if he gets in there with David Benavidez, he's gonna get beat to death. That was the smartest move he could ever do, was sidestep that dude and make up all these excuses why he shouldn't fight him, while meanwhile fighting people who meet the same criteria of excuses that he said the same reason he should fight David Benavidez. He's a duck. Canelo was a freaking duck, and David Benavidez would have beat the death out of him. He would have beat him to freaking death. It would have been no contest. He probably would have stopped him, to be honest. So kudos to Eddie Reynoso for staying the heck away from David Benavidez.
BVO.
I don't know what happened to BBO.
BVO must have he must be napping, ladies and gentlemen. When BVO, what he likes to do at night, believe it or not, he'll get a dozen glazed donuts from Krispy Kreme. And he'll just, sit on his couch and, like Homer, he'll just throw him back. But shout out to my brother BVO. Shout out to everybody in the panel, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's chopping it up with the Sports Talk Network, with your guy B3 Boxing Picks.
What you think about
Um,
Eddie Reynoso B3?
to be honest with you, because he built Canelo from scratch, that holds a lot of weight in my opinion. But unfortunately, free, because of the lack of testing in the sport of boxing, that I don't know how legitimate your wins are. You see what I'm saying? Because if you control when Canelo is tested, things of that nature, you got all these fighters popping hot. How am I not to? But how am I to know which performances your fighter was clean or not? You see what I'm saying? And then let's look at case in point, the William Skull fight. Right now, I'm hoping that they had the drug testing that, because look at how Ryan looked. You see what I'm saying? He didn't, So look at how Canelo looked. Maybe Canelo regressed in that Williams School fight. He couldn't cut the ring off. He didn't have that extra gear that he had when he stopped Caleb Plant. So I mean, that's just things that kind of play on my mind. I think he's just been doing it for so long. I still have a lot of respect for him, but as far as being great or me putting you over a Mayweather, a senior or Roger or you know what I'm saying. I think it's a lot of other coaches in the sport of boxing that need to get a lot more credit, like a Barry Hunter, you know, Ronnie Shields. It's a lot of great trainers in the sport. Yep. And look at what Coach Cunningham did with what he's doing with Emma Williams. So I think it's just me and you now, Coach Eddie. I don't know what happened to the game. You still with me?
Yeah, yeah. Not only that, you get guys like Devin Alexander. He did good things with him. You had the
Yeah.
Peterson brothers, that Barry Hunter. Yeah, but not only that, you got guys. See, one thing I'm gonna tell you about those other trainers, you don't hear about Eddie Reynoso coaching any amateur fighters, get these guys from the mud and getting them to that next level. Because you know why? That takes a lot of work when you coaching an amateur fighter. And that's how those are your next guys. You see guys like Coach Calvin, they got a whole slew of guys coming right behind Tank because their passion is their coaching is in their blood, their passion is in their blood. I don't see Eddie Reynoso in there working with no amateurs. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. You know what I'm
I'm gonna
saying?
say,
And
let
that's
me
Well,
just put
coach,
a name out there
you
really
gotta
with
remember
Coach.
his boy is almost like a Michael Jackson, a kid that he met at 10 years old became one of the biggest fighters in the world. So I get what you're saying, but what he done with Canelo is second to none. They don't do that. Like I know, Canelo's career almost is impossible these days. 15, 13 years old, you find him, you take him in, you raise him as your son, he become the biggest brother in the world. But you know,
Nah,
I get
that's
what you're
like
saying.
God's gift to him. That was God's gift to him. And Coach Real is one of the best coaches in the sport right now. Shout out to Coach Real. But
Yeah.
and,
Hey,
shout out shout
coach,
out shout out to
I'll
Oscar.
put my information in the private chat, man. Take my information down, man. We definitely want to have you. I've been trying to track you down, man. I've been trying to.
100%.
I had my brother Juice on the case. I forgot to get he forgot to call me back, but we've been trying to get you on the show, man.
Oh, okay. That your private. I'll see it down there, the private chat. Cause I ain't really
Yep.
too phone savvy, man. So I'm trying to figure. I have to figure it out, man.
Yeah, it should be a phone number in there. Text that phone number, man, so we can get locked in.
Okay, cool, man. Wait a minute. I'm gonna see if I can see it. Right. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I see it right there. I got you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
let me
We
let me
hey,
let me screenshot
bro,
that joint, man.
yeah, brothers got to come together, man. Real brothers around the world got to come together, man. I like what you be doing. We
Always.
got to come together, man.
100%.
Because we
Yeah.
know B3, man, he the king of the white women. So shout out to B3 and all the
He's
Nubian
a,
white queens.
yeah. He's a, I
Hey,
guess
listen,
that's his
Hey,
flavor, I
Coach Eddie,
guess,
I
man.
had never heard the
B3 don't
term Nubian
discriminate.
white queens till I met my man B3. He called them Nubian white queens. I had never heard of that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Hey, Coach Eddie, BVO, he the type of guy that you can't take nowhere. You know what I'm saying? He gonna show his ass. You already know.
But I'll say this, man. Salute to everybody that came through. My man Dub right side. He came through. Of course, Young Free or Frilio. And this is the BVO and B3 show, man. And shout out to B3 and all the white Nubian queens, man. And we out of here till next week. Peace.
Peace.